afternoon to you all. Welcome to Women Rise. This is a space for women. It's a mentorship space for all women in society. And of course, not only women, but of course also the boy child. You can also pick something from this because the guests we host here do share their life stories, their challenges, solutions, and how they've been able to, to keep going with whatever they're doing. And I believe there is a lot that we learn from each person's story. Learning never ends, and we are always here to mentor you, the young girl, the young woman, to becoming better, even better than the people that you look up to, the people that your mentors, and everyone that is around you. Yes, my name is Nayiga Madreen, and today I have a young woman. She's a student. She's a final year pharmacy student at Mulago Pharmacy School. She's a mental health activist. She's a co-founder of Her Worth Foundation. This is a young women-led organization committed to empowering girls and young women in Uganda. Yes, besides that, I think Anna is doing a lot of work. Yes, she's into, politics. She has been into on different spaces, of course, mentorship spaces, mainly for the girl child. And we are really honored to have her today. Yes, this space is not only for the mature women, but of course we give it to also the young women to come and share how they're doing it, so that you can also pick something from them. Anna Oyat, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Madreen.
How are you, Anna?
I'm excited
you look
to be
lovely
here today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love the natural hair. Keeping natural hair is not easy.
We don't talk about the stress that comes with it.
Yeah, so I really love natural hair, but I couldn't handle.
In your next life.
Yeah.
Plan better.
Yeah. So Anna, first of all, you're a science student, you're a pharmacy student, but you're engaged into a lot of work. How are you doing it before you even, introduce yourself or say hello to our viewers?
That's a question that I'm asked every day.
Every day,
like
yeah.
everywhere I go.
Yes.
But I think it's just a matter of timing. Yeah, we have 24 hours a day, so you need to really learn how to plan your time.
Yeah.
We can do a lot in 24 hours,
Yes.
so it's not really to me a burden, but I see it as purpose. So I've been able to juggle it all the time.
Yeah, we are starting at the right point, and she's saying she has to juggle around to be able to do what she's doing. So Anna, how do you describe yourself? Someone who doesn't know who Anna Oyat is, how would you describe yourself?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. A good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here today. It's been long overdue.
Yeah.
So like Madreen said, my name is Anna Oyat. I'm a final year student of pharmacy at Mulago Pharmacy School. I'm also the co-founder of a community-based organization in northern Uganda, particularly Gulu, called Her Worth Foundation. We work to see that girls and women realize their potential and fully utilize it. And we also encourage male involvement in issues surrounding the girls. So Anna is just a passionate young girl who is driven by the act of kindness that she wants to render to community and see that every other person feels comfortable, loved, and everyone can achieve their dreams. Basically, that's Anna.
Wow. Anna, where are you from? You mentioned Gulu, but we want to know more. Which part of Gulu? How did you grow up? Your childhood, something small about your childhood experience.
Where I'm from is quite complicated, but my home district is Pade district. That's where my dad comes from, even my mom.
Okay.
But then we grew up and we were raised in Gulu. My childhood was fun, I can say. Amazing, wonderful experiences. However, I can't say it was all smooth.
Yeah.
Being a last child in a family of 6, and then we lost our dad when I was 4.
Oh dear.
Yes, so it was kind of a roller coaster of events, though we had beautiful experiences. And when I was enrolling in primary school, one thing that has driven my life till date, I was awarded a scholarship by an educationist by the names of Mrs. Abitimu Rebecca Odonkara. She was one of the first educationists in Uganda, and she was the proprietor of a primary school called Unifat Primary School. She would award scholarships to orphans and vulnerable children. So she gave me that scholarship. It included fees, requirements, shoes, school bags. And you know, for a child, it was very exciting. Yeah. And she never asked for anything in return.
Anything at all.
Yeah.
Some people end up or end on only, you know, giving you school fees, but then the materials, scholastic materials, you have to come through as, you know, a family.
Yeah, this was even a day school, but she would give us lunch for free at school. So one thing I learned from her, she always told us that you should not think of giving me anything back in return.
Wow.
But one day, if you have the capability, render the same kindness that I gave to you to some other person.
Wow.
So I think that is one thing that drove my passion. Like every day that I grew up, I always put it at the back of my mind that one day I will have to render kindness, I'll have to support, to really make me happy and to feel fulfilled. Even when she has already rested, may her soul rest in peace.
Dear.
Yeah, so that has driven my passion, and it's the reason behind Haworth Foundation. We started it also with a childhood friend, Prudence Apio, Monica. So we grew up together with her. Our childhood was fun, shooting mangoes along the streets, talking about
So when you mentioned you had a fun childhood, what are some of the things, you know, that made it more exciting maybe?
So the thing that was so exciting for me, our school was near the district council hall, and then at lunchtime we would escape and go to watch those council meetings through the window, and I'd be like, one day I have to be here. That's why I was in UNSA leadership at an early age, the district executive committee. So that was the most exciting thing. Like every day I was from home to school or school to home, I would pass through that compound of the district council hall and be like, one day I'll be like these people. Yeah, so that was the most exciting thing for me in my childhood.
Was there anyone in particular, you know, at that district maybe that you would focus on and say, I would like to be like this person? Or
mom,
anyone you would engage with? Oh.
Yes. My mom was an LC5.
Okay.
When her dad passed on, she ventured into politics. And I always looked at her, the kind of resilience that woman had. And I was like, you're doing politics, you're single-handedly raising 6 kids, you have to put them in school and get things going. So she really motivated me. Sometimes I would move out of class, even during class time, go to her office with no issue to discuss, but just to see the kind of resilience she had, and that she fueled my energy, and she made me learn to appreciate every little thing and find joy in the small things. Yeah. So.
Wow. As a young woman, what are some of the issues you think that you faced? You're working with the, you know, your organization, working with young women.
True.
Some of the issues that you went through as a young woman and you think are still happening now.
So, as a young girl growing up in northern Uganda, having faced that, I wasn't there during the times of the insurgency, but then the impacts are widespread till now. Growing up, we had this, the major challenge I faced was having this low self-esteem. So if you go to the north, there is a tendency of girls even boys, but more so girls, because they are more vulnerable, having a very low self-esteem. Yeah, and at the end of the day, this affects their participation in the community, their leadership, even their ability to say no and mean it.
True.
Yeah, so this vice has been causing the issues like teenage pregnancy, school dropouts, because girls do not have the confidence to, you know, to stand up for themselves. That's why at Haworth we started these mentorship programs in schools and then in the community for the girls that are out of school. We mentor them, be with them from time to time. It's not like an outreach where you go and that's it. No, we mentor them, start clubs, elect leaders, let them own their clubs, you know, talk to them from time to time. So that is something that most times as actors we don't look at it, but it's the grassroots cause and problem of that is bringing about so many things. And then I realized that with the mentorship that we are giving, these girls are having grip of their self-awareness, you know, confidentiality, and they're able to relate with their peers and even the boys, you know, normally, knowing that I'm not an object, I'm worthy, I am strong. So this is one thing that I faced as a child, and I'm glad that I came out of it successfully, and I'll continue to help other young girls come out of it. Yeah.
Yes, those that are the young girls that are going through that, what you went through, how are you able to overcome all these challenges? Confidence, how did you build your confidence? Your low self-esteem, how did you overcome all these?
So the best thing, there was a time when I was in primary 7, and a teacher told us that, my English teacher told me that the best way you can overcome a fear is by challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. So every time I saw a position or something to be done, I was afraid within me, but then I was like, no, I have to go for it. For example, when I was in senior 3 and they brought on-site elections for district executive, and then there were 14 contestants for deputy speaker. The speaker was already a boy, and I wanted it, and people were already 14, and I still went as the 15th person. And you know that kind of voting where you stand and they line up behind you and they count. If you hear one and they stop,
if you don't hear anything, just know
that
no
you're the only one who voted
behind.
for yourself.
Yeah.
So I said this is the time that I think I need this kind of shame. If it's going to bring me shame, I'm going to take it. So I went for it. We were given opportunities to campaign for like 4 minutes each, and they voted, and I won.
Wow.
So I think that was a stepping stone for me. I felt like if you challenge yourself, people can see the capability in you that you may not believe that you have within.
True.
Yeah, so that is how I was able to overcome it. So every time I see a challenge, even when we were starting Haworth Foundation, my dreams were so big. So big. Yes. But I was like, no, I'm a student, I'm not working, I don't have money. My mom is my support system, but she retired from politics early and focused on other businesses. So she didn't have much to support, but I kept challenging myself that, you know, go for it. The wave will take you there. Yeah, so that's what I think every other girl out there should do. Do not be afraid to challenge yourself. You never know the power that you have within.
Yeah, sure. Wow. And as a student, what's your day like as a student, as a farmer's student at Mulago? How are you able to do, you know, incorporate all these other things that you do? Mainly, yeah.
So the beauty about our organization is that the very first time we started it, I was a student. It's now since 2021 and I'm still a student. So the whole time we've been running it, trying to grow, I have been a student. So like I told you earlier, I really calculate my time. By the time I sit down on Sunday, I know how my week will run. Yes, I know the activities that I have to do for the organization, be it paperwork or physically. I know the activities that I have in school, the lectures that I have, and at what time, and I schedule them. And of course, things always collide. You can't say I'll be too perfect.
Yeah.
There are times when you're a bit late. There are times when you cannot make it to some places and you have to communicate. But that is once in a while. Most of the time, since we have like 1 or 2 lectures a day or 3 depending, I make sure that I calculate my time well. And I'm happy to say that we have an amazing team that we work with. I can say there are more of sisters and brothers, and we can easily delegate tasks, and it has made it so easy. Their support has made it so easy for me to sail through school and also be there. So I can easily delegate and still be this side. I can easily go there physically. Sometimes I have colleagues who even help me to submit classwork when I'm in field. Yeah. So that's how I've been going. I make sure that I network, I make friends with my class representatives, with the people around me, because you don't know, you might need them. Even with border guys, the border guys are sent to my place to pick a particular work that I've typed, take to my school, give to my class representative when I'm not in Kampala. So it is just a matter of networking, knowing the kind of help you need here and there, spacing your time, and delegating. Yeah.
Hannah, what schools did you attend?
So I went to Unifat Primary School for my whole primary, and then I went to Sacred Heart Secondary School. It's a girls' school in Gulu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the schools that I can say polished me. You know those strict Catholic schools, and you're not a Catholic, and then you have to do every other thing like everyone is doing. And at that time I thought the rules were too strict, but I think right now it is what shaped me into the person I am. They would adhere to their principles. They would make sure that everything is done within the required time. Any small mistake that you make, you'll be suspended, so you make sure to be on the right track.
On the right track.
In the right place at the right time. So that is where I spent my secondary school, and then I enrolled into pharmacy school.
From Gulu to Kampala. Okay. So how is the course so far? What inspired you to join, this particular course?
So
back in the days, girls would not go for science courses because we thought, these are meant for the boy child.
Boys.
But now these days, we are happy that many of you are coming up to take on these particular courses.
True.
Yeah.
So growing up, I have always loved to create something. I was so creative. I didn't like just being there, redundant. I'm a reader. I love reading, but I'm always intrigued to do something, create something. So by the time I reached Form 1 and I met my art teacher, and I went for my first lesson of art, and I remember we drew a leaf, and I was the worst performer, yet I knew that was my time for creativity. So I was like, what is this? But I kept on, but it's either I didn't get the shape, or I didn't get the coloring, and then I thought to myself, I'm like, but how can I be more creative and then also impact society? So that's when I thought of, I have always loved pharmacy. By the time I reached Form 3, I had learned, I had a friend whose brother was into industrial pharmacy. So I loved the fact that someone can go lock himself up in an industry and then come up with something that is going to, prolong someone's life. Yes. And I was like, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. So that is why I'm in the field of pharmacy. I feel like every day we are creating something for someone, learning those modes of actions and everything to benefit someone. And it is good in a way that it can be integrated with what I'm doing, because the course deals with working with the community, impacting the lives of people, and also the work that I'm doing in the organization does the same. So to me, it's like a very good combination of the two, and it's what has kept me going.
Wow. And leadership. Yes, you mentioned one time you stood at a position and you won. Leadership, what does it take for someone to be a good leader? With your experience in the field, how have you managed as a leader?
For me, there is one value that I always carry within me when it comes to leadership. You know, when you talk about leadership, someone thinks it's only political leadership.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we were at Chankwanzi last year, around September, and they were talking about the different forms of leadership. And I was shocked that the young people really think that leadership is political leadership. But even at your home, if
you can be a leader.
Yes, if you're firstborn, you have siblings behind you, you're a leader, you know, in every space. So to me, the greatest and the biggest principle for leadership is showing up. I am very, very intentional about showing up for people around me, for friends and family, even for the people that I do not know. But empathy and showing up, I think, is what makes a very great leader. When you show up for your people. See, now right now we're in a political environment, and you hear issues, people saying that he was in Kampala the whole time, now he's coming back in the village. That's because you are not showing up. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you keep showing up for people, you don't even need to prove your worth. They know that you're for the people.
There. Yeah.
Yes. So I love showing up. I love authenticity in what I do. And I think that is what has kept me moving in the field of leadership. And all the people around me, my friends, if you ask, they know that Anna is someone who will show up. If she can't make it, at least she will send word that, you know what, I can't make it. Yes, but I'm with you. So that is basically me. When it comes to leadership, I make sure I show up for people. Yeah.
And these spaces that you have been into, you know, leadership roles, what are some of the roles you've occupied as a woman?
So as a woman growing up in the north, yeah, people always tend to look up to you for so many things.
Much, yeah.
Yes, so much. So for example, in our pharmacy school, I personally love to advocate. Yeah, I love to talk to people. Aside the political leadership that I've not been focusing on for like the past 2-3 years, because I've been trying to build the leadership this side in our organization and making sure that we are somewhere. So I stand in for mental health. Yes, I stand in for menstrual health, and currently in Gulu, I'm looking at creating a coalition in Gulu to see that we unify our actions towards ending menstrual poverty. In our region in Pade, I stand as the face against teenage pregnancy. So it is in different fields where I see that we really try to navigate and intersect and lift other people to come on board and join the advocacy. So I've worked with different entities on mental health, menstrual health, ending teenage pregnancy, girl child and boy child mentorship. Yeah, a number of them.
And that will take us to Howard Foundation. More about Howard Foundation. What do you do? What do you focus on? Who are you doing it with? And how do you do this?
So Haworth Foundation, I can say, is my first child, my baby. Yes, so it started in 2021, February. During the COVID period, my sister Prudence and I, we saw firsthand issues on teenage pregnancy. Remember when the rate of teenage pregnancy hiked?
After COVID, yes.
So we went into communities and we really saw that it was so bad. And then we already had the passion within us personally. As a child, remember I told you I wanted to do some act of kindness, at least do something in the community. So when Prudence came to me and said, Anna, I think we should do Haworth. We didn't have anything, but we were like, we can do it. We went and sat somewhere, came up with our mission, vision, and planned our first outreach. Yes, with the support of our parents, of course. They were very supportive because her mom was also a politician and my mom too. So they were like, yeah, this is your time. So that is how Haworth started. When we started, we wanted to see that every girl realizes her potential and fully utilizes it. And we have our thematic areas in areas of education. We work on issues of gender-based violence. Yes, we work on menstrual health, encouraging male involvement, of course, in it. And then we also see we are integrating issues of climate
change.
Yes, climate change in it, because in our journey we learned that menstrual health and mental health is highly affected by climate change, and people rarely talk about it. It's a big topic on its own. So those are the thematic areas of Haworth, and we strongly do and recommend mentorship. That is also one thing that we do in many districts in the north. We do production of reusable sanitary pads. With support from the UNFPA, we were able to set up the first production center for reusable pads in the north. That is what we do, and I am happy to say that the center is run by teenage mothers who could not make it in school and had issues. So they are the people we trained to own the program. So we make reusable sanitary pads for donations to various organizations. Our products have reached, I think, many districts in Uganda, Kampala, that area of Kakira, Mbarara, with different organizations. And then one beautiful thing about Haworth is that it is the home of the menstrual run. If you hear about the menstrual hygiene run, yes, it is the home of the menstrual hygiene run. We had our first edition in 2023, so we have made it an annual event. Last year we had the second edition, and this year we are having the third edition in June. So the menstrual run is a unique program that aims to see that we fundraise and then provide reusable products to selected vulnerable communities that cannot afford. So these girls are able to get the products, and it has helped to reduce irregularities in school. Yes, and it has improved their performance. It has reduced the issues of transactional sex. I buy you pads, but you give me something in return. So in areas of Gulu district, Pade, Noya, it has helped to reduce on the rates of teenage pregnancy. So that is something unique about Haworth.
And someone will say, you're all young people, young women. What's behind you? Who is pushing you to do all this work? Young women, two young women doing all this amazing work for other, girls to stay in school or even to have a better life. Who is behind you? Who is pushing you? Why this love?
So on our side, the motivation, where we get the motivation is quite unique. Now for me, positive feedback and the impact that we create. For example, last week there was a teacher who called me from a school in Pade. She was like, Anna, how are you people? Do you think you can make it again next term?
Wow.
Do you know that we had like 10 girls, 14 girls dropping out of school every term? But after your mentorship, we only had one girl
Wow.
dropping out of
Wow.
school due to teenage pregnancy. So she was like, I think you guys need to come back. Now, that is the kind of feedback that fuels
That
our
keeps
energy,
you moving.
that keeps me
Wow.
moving,
Wow.
because you feel like you're fulfilling the purpose. Yeah, but other than that, we have a society, a community of very supportive friends, politicians, because they see the impact that the work is creating, and different organizations have seen the impact. International organizations have put in their support. For example, the UNFPA and the Swedish Embassy have recognized our work, and they keep pushing us to go further. Yeah, but the entire community, from our beneficiaries to the people that participate in our fundraising programs, everyone has been so supportive.
So supportive.
Yeah, and the fact that we are young people, they believe that we are the right people to encourage the young ones. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. And so you talked of mentorships. Do you visit these schools, or how do you do the mentoring with the other girls, the young girls in school?
So we visit the schools. We first identify schools that are really so badly off, maybe in terms of dropout, because with the resources that we have, we cannot reach everyone at a go. Yeah. So we do mapping and pick selected schools and communities that are not doing so well, and we go to them. In schools, we create the mentorship clubs. We get leaders for the clubs. Now, in those clubs, we keep sharing resources. Like, we follow up. In our team, we have people who are assigned to specific schools. So they follow up like in 2 weeks with the leaders, and also share resources. If we say that this 1 week in the school, they're going to share about self-awareness and leadership, you send them resources, let them learn on their own, go and get feedback on what they have learned. So for schools, basically we do primary 6 and 7. Yeah. So when the P7 leave, because they're the people who are entering into secondary school, and we know secondary school is very tricky, especially in the village. So we do primary 6 and 7. When the primary 7 leave, we enroll primary 5 to join primary 6. So that is how we do it, and the mentorship takes 2 years. So if you're in primary 6, that's 1 year. Primary 7, 1 year. Primary 5 joins, yes, like that, such that we have enough time to exhaust everything with them. And then for the communities, because most of them are girls that are out of school, and we don't have the resources to maybe fully put them back, all of them in school, but we do hand skills training in the community. We also, because they are more exposed to issues like teenage pregnancy, so we also have sessions with them every weekend, every Saturday or Friday. We have the leaders, the presidents, they get a name for themselves, you know, they own their club, and we be with them from time to time, bring in programs that make them have some hand skills like liquid soap making. They also learn how to make the pads. They also learn things like baking, you know, something that can help them be self-reliant in the community and not fall prey of issues like teenage pregnancy. And then some of them have even been able to use that as an opportunity for them to save up and go back to school. Yeah.
With a little they get.
Yes, so the mentorship is both for in school and out of school girls. Yeah.
So I'm thinking the ones that are out of school, are they the ones you follow up after the 2 years of mentorship? Or do you follow up with these that have left P7 and are continuing maybe elsewhere?
So the ones that are out of school are literally, the clubs are lifelong. but we keep enrolling young ones.
New ones,
Yes, but we have
okay.
levels. So we have a certain age from 15 to around 19. They have their own group, and then 14 below, they have their own group. Because we realize that the way these girls think are different.
Yeah, true.
And then these girls who are between 15 to 19 are always not very vocal when they're among these 11, 12, 13. So those clubs keep running, and in our activities like the menstrual run, our outreaches, our radio talk shows, we go with some of them like all the time, such that they see how empowerment works. Sometimes we give them the opportunity to speak on radio, to encourage other young girls. So for the clubs that are out of school, they are lifelong and they keep running.
Wow.
And for the clubs that are in school are also lifelong, just that we keep enrolling by class. Yeah.
And for these ones that the lifelong that you do, for how long do you follow up with these ones? It is lifelong, but then I want to see any positive or any achievement out of the ones you mentor into these groups after 19 years. What happens? What are some of the good things that these girls have done for themselves? Yeah.
So for the girls that are out of school, aside from the skills training that we do for them, by the time, especially for those who are 18 and 19, because in most institutions, even for skills training, they need someone who is 18 and above. So one other thing that Howard does is to lobby and look for support in partnership with other organizations. For example, this year we enrolled about 7 girls in a club to a skills training institution in Gulo, where they chose either to do fashion designing or cookery, different courses. So that is something that we do to make sure that by the time this girl is leaving the teenage age, she has something handy that she can do to support herself. So we do that to see that we don't just mentor them and let them go.
Wow.
Yes, we do that to see that they are strengthened, they are reliant, and by the time they reach 20, they can also, encourage the young ones.
Encourage the young ones.
Yeah, so there are others who are already doing the course, and they are the first lot, and we hope that by the time they come out, they can have small startups to see that they stand firm on their own, because some of them are mothers, teenage mothers with babies, and some of them are not yet mothers, but they're learning crocheting, and we hope that we can enroll more and more girls into such skills training.
True.
To see that they don't rely so much on money coming from different directions that can lead them into trouble. True. Yeah.
I'm looking at Howard Foundation in the next 5 years. What are your future plans for this organization?
Right now, one thing that we are looking at is broadening our spectrum, because if you look at the issues surrounding girls in Uganda, there are quite many, and our direct impact right now, or direct beneficiaries, have been specifically in northern Uganda. The ones in different districts like Mbarara have been maybe through our pads and not directly. So in 5 years, we want to see Howard creating impact, not only in Uganda, but entering in different countries of East Africa, and seeing how we can partner with other organizations in other countries to see how we can tackle our issues regionally, not only nationally in the country. So that's what we are looking at right now, and also broadening our production center to see that it can serve the number that we are looking at, because right now it's serving mostly the north and a few regions of Central and Western, and sometimes we run out of products or materials, and it makes it a bit hard. So we are looking at broadening that to see that we increase our production, widen our center, and also enter into different countries in East Africa and eventually Africa at large.
Wow, that's a very big dream, but step by step.
One step at a time.
Yeah. So Anna, I'm looking at community involvement, and in particular the male involvement into issues of girls and the young woman. How best can we engage in issues that to do with the girls and the young woman, and most especially the male or the boy child or the male involvement?
When it comes to male involvement, in our few years of experience, I've learned that for the boys love more unique ways of receiving information. You see, the way you can, especially in the rural areas, it's very hard to sit a boy down and talk to them, and they'll give you full attention, full time, the way you can talk to a girl. Exactly. So we have created partnerships with different organizations on different programs. For example, right now we are running a program called Gen Putie Tinacholi. It means that there is still hope, which is in partnership with an organization which is basically male-led, and they deal in they record plays or make drama. They're dancers actually. They make skits that talk about these issues of teenage pregnancy, the dangers, the effects, how it affects you as a boy. You become a father, you may go to prison, and what they do skits like that and go with them in the community and act it in front of them. So in that way they get the message more clearly. So boys love interesting things of bringing information to them, but at the end of the day they listen, and if you ask them what they have learned, you realize that they've really learned a lot. So in the different schools they've been at, campaigning for because when we go to schools we have time with the girls, but before that we always have that general time even with the boys,
with the boy child,
and talk about these things when they are all there, and let them ask questions. So you hear things like boys thinking that, oh, all these organizations come here, they don't call us. Yes, they tell you
you're leaving them behind.
Exactly, they don't call us. What if we don't know how to handle them? Yes, so we train them on really how to live with these girls as their sisters, to know how to handle their issues, and this has really helped with the male involvement, and it is really creating. For example, in the school I told you about in Pade, it was not like maybe people from outside are the only ones who are impregnating the girls. Even fellow students within the school, it was happening. Yes, so right now I love to hear the testimonies about how the sessions that we also have men on our team who have separate sessions with the boys. So I love to hear when they enjoy their sessions, they learn how to correlate with these girls, and they know as boys you're an empowered man if you respect women. If you don't solve every problem with violence, because in the village issues like fighting, violence in schools is something that the boys wanted to normalize. So we take that very seriously, and our male actors see it that they really mentor also these boys, and to see that at the end of the day the boys know how to handle the empowered girls.
Right, good. And Anna, you're a mental health activist. What do you do here? Where are you doing this advocacy from?
So for the mental health, At Haworth, we also provide counseling to our colleagues, our friends, to these girls that because if you go down there, girls really, there are issues that girls know that will shock you. So at the end of the day, we realize that mental health is really important.
Yeah.
Yes, so we do counseling. In our team, we have sessions specifically to just go and sit down with the girls and listen to them. Yes. Other than that, I also work with other organizations and do advocacy, both physically and online. I've worked mostly with an organization called Mindness Uganda, where we have sessions from time to time about mental health and how we can go about it with different people. And we are trying to build a community where talking about mental health is not really a taboo, that it's something where people can easily come up and share. And then at Haworth, we are also creating a platform where people can easily access, like a WhatsApp platform where you can easily reach out to maybe me, even if you don't want to reveal your identity, but you can talk about
what you're going through.
Exactly. So that is what I'm working on currently. But the advocacy for mental health is something that I really do every day, even among my peers. If you see of recent in Kabale, a girl just committed suicide.
Yeah.
And these issues are everywhere. Every day. So it is something that the young people think is a modern problem. That's how they call it. Some people don't even know that they're undergoing depression until it takes a toll on them. So we are trying to strengthen that mental health advocacy as Haworth, not only for the young people,
for everyone.
Yes, for everyone.
Yeah.
Because some of these girls who are teenage mothers even have issues with their own parents. Like a mother is like, no, you're already a mother, I cannot have you and your baby in my house. So those parents are also people that we're supposed to talk to. Yeah, so that's what we do. We love dialogue, sitting down and talking about issues in the community. Yeah.
And with your experience and of your advocacy work in mental health, what do you think? How do you rate us Ugandans? At which percentage are we? And what more should be done to see that at even the lowest level, people know about these issues? Depression, there is a lot. When you talk about mental health, there are many issues that we don't know, simply because, I don't know, is it information? We are not informed. What should be done? Because when you talk of depression, someone can be depressed and you don't even know what is this thing called depression. So there are many disorders around mental health, but we don't know. How do you rate us as Ugandans? And then what do you think should be done to see that this kind of advocacy reaches to the lowest person in the community?
Thank you. So personally, before I even go deep into that, I feel like every entity that is working with people should take it upon themselves to see that they inculcate mental health. Because even if you're discussing nutrition, there's an aspect of mental health. Even if it's climate, even if it's teenage pregnancy, even if it's disability inclusion, So mental health is like everywhere. And in Uganda, we are still not even up to 60% in talking about this, making this known to people. And I think before we even go down to the villages, it is our responsibility as different organizations, different advocates, to see that we include at least a package or something talking about mental health in our thematic areas, in our outreaches, yes, to see that now as we go to the grassroots, to the stakeholders, to the local councillors, the LC1, right from there, so that they are trained about this, made aware, and they have credible information. If you go to a village like Pade, issues surrounding mental health, they'll say it's your ancestors. It's more of traditional than, you know, someone might just be going through something and they say you're possessed and what, yet you're hallucinating. You're going through something. So all organizations that go into these villages to execute different projects should really take it upon themselves to inculcate mental health in their programs, even if just a 5 minutes talk, you know, let the people know that mental health is an issue and it's something that we can overcome. Around early last year, from the beginning of the year to around mid-year, I had a program on a radio in Gulu every Saturday that talked about mental health for the youth. And I really learned that the youth are really going through things that even in Gulu, where you think they have maybe information, they have smartphones, they have, you know, people do not even know the signs of depression. Someone said, oh, I was actually depressed, you know. So it is important to talk about it in every opportunity that we get to talk to people, because mental health is one issue that is every day and is everywhere.
Wow, thank you so much, Anna. Is there anything else with your work? And of course, after this, you'll talk more about the run, the menstrual health hygiene run. Yes, call upon people to join the campaign. But of course, anything more you want us to know about what you're doing as an individual, but of course, also with your fellows.
One thing that I'd love the community to know is that at Howard, we are very welcoming. We are always so excited to have different people. Sometimes people see you on media and think you're not approachable. You don't welcome people in your midst. But one uniqueness about our is that we are for the community, we are for the people, and without the people we would not be there. So it's because of the support of the people outside, that's why we are still able to run each and every day. So I would love everyone to know that we are open for contacting, for sharing information, for participation in various events. Our doors are always open.
And more about the campaign?
So the menstrual hygiene run is the campaign that we launched last week. It's when we started it. It's going to happen in June in Gulu. Last year it was amazing. I was happy that we had our colleagues from here going all the way the other side, like Treslin, Kichoncho, all the girls. So it was amazing. So the run is going to happen in June. We still have a tentative date, not yet confirmed, but it's to fundraise for provision of reusable sanitary pads to girls that cannot afford. So our kits are going to be ready anytime. You should be able to access it and access us. For people who cannot participate in person, we have different ways how we make sure that we all, you know, push for it. So that people who also buy kits for young teenage mothers to participate, for schools and all that. So we have had support from all over the country. Yes, and then aside the run, we are also having a campaign with Period Talk Uganda. It's called Kick Out Period Poverty. It's with the footballers in the country. And they're trying to also fundraise to see that they provide machines in the community where the girls can make
the reusable
pads even if the organizations are not there to provide. So that is a campaign that is on media. You should access it on the pages of Period Talk Uganda on X. And it's something that we should all be happy to take part in. And we have the €2 for a girl that is happening in Arua in May on Menstrual Hygiene Day. FemTalk is running it, and all these are the collective responsibility that we are putting to see that, you know.
Yeah, the girl child is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for the run, we are going to be set on all our media pages. You're going to see them, the kits, the progress. By Monday, we are going to be set. Yeah.
Wow. And your last remarks, of course, as you talk to the young women, yes, you're there, you're a young woman, but we have young women who are still struggling. One word to them, you know, how they can overcome different challenges women go through. Yes, how do they take up leadership positions, and how do they stay focused or, you know, engage in productivity? Yeah.
So for the young women out there, I just want to tell them that believe in your dreams, no matter how big, regardless of your status or your background. Even if you come from a humble background, you start from where you are. You use what you want to get where you want to be, because you cannot wait to have it all figured out before starting. So do not let people overstep on your dreams. Learn to stand up for yourself, and lastly, learn to show up. Consistency is very important. It's what keeps you running. You cannot start something and then keep quiet about it. Yeah, my journey has not been easy. Sometimes the road is quite rough and you may feel like
giving up.
Exactly. But keep going, be consistent, render support, and please have enough rest. You cannot do all these, keep running, keep going. I really prioritize sleep. When things are not adding up, even if it's daytime like this, I take a nap.
You take a nap.
You cannot solve the country's problem alone in a day.
Yeah.
So prioritize self-care in all that you do. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank
for
you.
coming through and for the amazing work that you're doing. Please keep on doing what you're doing. Yeah. For the betterment of the girl child. We are so proud, and as Women Rise, we really thank you, you and your colleagues, whoever you're doing this work with. And we want to encourage everyone, mostly the young women. Please, these are things that you can do. These are activities you can involve yourselves in, and make change in society. You can begin from where you are, begin with what you have, and impact society. Thank you so much, Anna, for coming through, and to you, our viewers, thank you so much for always tuning into Women Rise on Civic Space TV. We are always here every Saturday afternoon. Follow conversations every Saturday. Like the conversations, share the link with your friends and family to come back and watch these amazing episodes. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next week. Bye.